I want to welcome everyone to this very special session of the Wyoming Supreme Court. We are here today not only to administer the oath of attorney to those who will soon be, like within minutes, Wyoming lawyers, but also to honor them for their achievement and to honor all of those who helped them to attain that achievement. We regret the conditions as they exist require us to limit those who can be here in person. I know this whole building would have seen a lot of hugs and handshakes if we'd been able to do it in the usual way, but we just can't. We hope the arrangements we've been able to make with mixed in-person and remote participation will allow the admittees, friends, and loved ones to enjoy their special day. And we will record this ceremony and place it upon our website where it will be accessible to the public. So if your loved ones and relatives and others want to see it, they can do so. Let me begin with introductions of Supreme Court personnel. I'm Mike Davis. I have the honor of serving as the Chief Justice of the Wyoming Supreme Court for a little longer. To my immediate right is Justice Kate Fox. To my immediate left is Justice Keith Couts. To my far right is Justice Lynn Boomgarden. And to my far left is Justice Carrie Jo Gray. I believe you may have met our Clerk of Court, Shauna Getz. And I think those are all that of our group we have to introduce. We also want to recognize some of our honored guests, or we try to recognize some of our honored guests, but I don't believe we've spotted anyone today other than, of course, our fellow judges and clerks from the United States District Court. And I won't introduce them individually because they will be well introduced when they take the bench and hold a special session of the United States District Court for the District of Wyoming. We also have guests who will either speak in person or by recorded presentation at this ceremony, and I'll introduce them when the time comes. And I see Rhonda Munger, who is our Deputy Court Administrator, and I'm looking around for Sharon Wilkinson and Mark Gifford. Don't believe I see them, but I'm sure they're listening on the video. And with that, the most important thing I have to do is to suspend the rule against the use of recording devices and cameras for those who are in the courtroom. You may feel free to take pictures and record these proceedings with whatever means you have available. Our first speaker will be by video. Since he could not be here today, we will hear from Darren Shear, Chairman of the Board of Law Examiners. I hope somebody else knows how to cue that up because I don't have any idea.
Hi, my name is Darren Shear, and on behalf of the Board of Law Examiners, I'm delighted to welcome you to the Wyoming State Bar. It's my privilege to share a few thoughts with you today about what it means to me to be a Wyoming lawyer. We're living in unprecedented times right now. We currently face a recession, a pandemic, national turmoil over historic inequalities, and a country that's highly divided in its politics. The rule of law has never been more important than it is right now. As newly admitted lawyers, you're joining a profession that is not only essential to the functioning of our system of justice, but to our democracy as a whole. Practicing law is a privilege, not an entitlement. Never forget that. And don't let it cloud your decision, your clients, your profession, or yourself. Lawyers are respected in society because they're perceived as having access to the levers of justice and power and answers to vexing legal questions that non-lawyers do not. This is an important responsibility and one that should not be taken lightly. Lawyers society at times because some in our profession are perceived as lacking moral character or lacking scruples altogether, or using their intellect or their advantages to enrich themselves at the expense of their clients rather than for their benefit. You should aspire to disprove this stereotype, one interaction at a time, client by client. The law remains a noble profession. You should leave it better than you found it. Lawyers have a tremendous ability to do good in society, both in the work they do for a living and in the countless ways that they can contribute to their communities. Whether it's pro bono legal work, volunteer service on boards and committees, or using their skills in other ways to benefit society, an essential part of being a lawyer is giving back. None of us got where we are alone, and we each owe a debt of gratitude to those who contributed to our success. Lawyers are uniquely situated to pay it forward by using their skills for the greater good. Volunteering as a lawyer is likely to be one of the most rewarding aspects of your career. I know it has been for mine. Know who you are, know what you believe, and don't let the urgency of the moment persuade you to take moral or ethical shortcuts in your practice. No client is worth your license. Part of our responsibility as officers of the court is to live up to the rules of professional responsibility. Your reputation is the most important thing you have in this profession. Treat it as such. Wyoming is a small state. Your reputation will precede you, I promise. Don't be afraid to ask others for help, whether it's reaching out to more seasoned lawyers for advice, calling the ethics hotline to get some help from bar counsel with a tricky problem, or seeking out a practice session to assist you. The benefit of working in a state like Wyoming is that your colleagues want to see you succeed, and there are lots of resources available to you. Take care of your mental and physical health. I know it sounds like a cliche, but it is so important. The legal profession can be stressful and demanding. It will be stressful and demanding. Studies have consistently shown higher rates of substance abuse and mental health issues among lawyers than in other trusted professions. Surround yourself with people who care about you and with whom you can be honest about your struggles. Have people in your life, whether it be friends or family members or colleagues, who help keep you on a healthy track. Eat right, exercise, find the right work-life balance for yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you won't be able to take care of your clients. Get involved, whether it's via the Young Lawyers Division, another bar section, the ABA, or some other outlet. There are countless ways for you to contribute. You'll learn about the profession, you'll get great networking opportunities, and you don't have to wait until you're a seasoned lawyer to do this. The sooner the better. Be proud. This day marks the end of one incredible journey and the beginning of another one for you. Having a license to practice doesn't mean you know everything, of course, but it does mean that you now have a license to learn. Be proud of all the hard work that it took to accomplish this achievement and revel in the excitement of all the possibilities that await you. Perhaps more than any single profession, lawyers are uniquely situated to shape the future. You have the skills and the intellect to do great things. And if there are aspects of our system that need to be reformed, you will be the ones who are best positioned to make those changes. This is a great privilege and one you've demonstrated yourself to be worthy of. On behalf of the Board of Law Examiners, I am delighted to welcome you into the family of Wyoming lawyers. Congratulations.
Very well. That was an inspiring speech by Mr. Scheer. Our next speaker is Kelly M. Neville, who is the president of the Wyoming State Bar. Ms. Neville. I said you were the president. You may have been succeeded by now, actually.
Yes, for 1 week. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Members of the court, Judge Johnson, distinguished guests, members of the 2020 admittees to the Wyoming State Bar, and to everyone watching us virtually, friends, family, supporters, and those who got you here. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today. It's a momentous day and a new phase in your life. I remember sitting in those chairs on the cusp of my legal career, still a little exhausted from 3 years of law school and bar exam preparation, and that was before the challenges of COVID that you have had to face in getting here. From small or solo practitioners who decided to hang out their own shingle and assume the risks that come with that. Small firm lawyers wearing two hats, trying to be both a lawyer and a small business person. Attorneys working in large firms that may be across multiple states and have unlimited resources in some ways, but they have their own challenges and practice demands. Lawyers working for local, state, and federal government. Lawyers serving as in-house counsel in the private sector, lawyers who elected not to practice law, but maybe are using their degrees to further a different profession, and lawyers who had a long distinguished career and are now enjoying the fruits of their labors in retirement. And I can tell you that you are joining a small collegial bar of hardworking, competent, and caring professionals. So I'd like to share a few thoughts to help ensure your success as you join this group of Wyoming lawyers. The Wyoming Bar strives for civility. We've all heard the adage that Wyoming is a small town with long streets. Your reputation matters. Each of you has completed the character and fitness process, but recognize that this is just the beginning. And being a Wyoming lawyer requires you to strive each and every day continually to act in a competent and respectful manner. Extend this courtesy, the respect and civility that you have in all your actions, and giving others the benefit of the doubt. Extend that courtesy in all directions, to your fellow counsel, to the staff of your fellow counsel, to your staff, to your clients, to the judges, and most especially to court staff, the clerks, the judicial assistants, court reporters, the IT staff, because each of these sectors will impact your ability to represent your clients and be successful as an attorney. Be civil. The Wyoming Bar also strives to be supportive. As a bar, we are here for each other, and I encourage you to reach out to other lawyers. Find mentors and build relationships. Call the ethics hotline when you reach a gray area in a client interaction or relationship. Reach out to bar staff, officers, commissioners, and let them know ways that they could support you. Join practice sections and get involved in all the specialized groups such as Trial Lawyers Association, the Defense Bar, DUI College, Inns of Court, the ABA. All of these groups will not only advance your professional goals, but they will provide networking opportunities and also support from fellow members. So seek and give support. Also, the Wyoming Bar members are committed to their duty to serve both the profession and the public. So volunteer for your state bar and your local bar associations, but also volunteer to serve your local community. Lawyers have a unique skill set, and they're integral to building better communities. So find a nonprofit board or run for an elected position or a local board where you can contribute to and strengthen the community where you live. You also have an affirmative ethical obligation Throughout law school, you probably heard a lot of talk about your personal wellness and the importance of balancing that with your practice. And I promise it's not going to be any different in the practice of law. We have a lot of conversations about that. Guard your wellness, protect it, prioritize it. And I promise you that if you focus on this, you will not only take your practice to the next level, but you will also be looking after your own wellness. To all your friends and family who have been with you, been your cheerleaders through this endeavor, thank you for supporting this class, for tolerating the missed holidays, the late nights, and the studying. And this is as much your accomplishment as it is the attorneys. And to each of you in the room here, congratulations. Welcome to the Wyoming State Bar. We welcome you and look forward to watching as you blossom in this profession. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Neville. At this time, I will ask our clerk of court, Shauna Getz, to read the names of our new admittees.
When I read your name, please stand to be recognized. Casey June Benish, Noelle Lynn Bradshaw, Kyle Matthew Brandon, Adam Colby Carmen, Lucas John Carr, Ezekiel Matthias Dennison, Molly Nicole Duncan, Haley Joe Gidry, Carrie Ann Hartman, Meredith Judith Hinnage, Robert Willard Jett, Patrick Dean Kent, Renee Irene Leone, Jeremy William Mearcreeves, Jason George Mitchell, Adelaide Peabody Myers, Teresa Marie Omens, Brent Richard Rhodes, Donald Grant Rogers, Christian David Ryan, Morgan Noel Timty, Jessica Christina Tracy, Emily Ruth Williams, and Tabitha May Wolf.
Would all of those receiving the oath please rise? And I will ask that the court rise with me. Please raise your right hand to receive the oath or to affirm. I, please state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Wyoming, and that I will faithfully and honestly and to the best of my ability discharge the duties of an attorney and counselor at law. Congratulations. Everyone may be seated. It is customary at these ceremonies for a member of the Wyoming Supreme Court to welcome the admittees, and that honor today falls to Justice Carrie Jo Gray. Justice Gray.
Thank you, Justice Davis. I'm privileged to share this day with you and to be the designated spokesman of the Wyoming Supreme Court. I noted with the remarks of the previous speakers that there's kind of a theme that there's some similarities in our speeches. So it's interesting that we all kind of wanted to share a piece of the same advice. But congratulations to you, the newly admitted members of the Wyoming State Bar, and thank you to your teachers, family, professors, and others whose support helped you make your journey to this day. You've worked hard, and I expect every lawyer and judge here remembers that law school is hard. This year, we, the justices of this bench, the judiciary, the law school, the Board of Bar Examiners, the Wyoming State Bar, and each of you have faced and are facing the time of the pandemic, a nation grappling with issues of social justice and civil unrest, a time of economic uncertainty, and the aftermath of several natural disasters. In the short run, the judiciary found a way to deal with the business of the courts, trials, hearings, juries, emergency proceedings, and everything in between. We did this without closing down the courts and while meeting the needs of and the constitutional protections for citizens. We continue to work on bold and forward-thinking approaches to both the immediate and long-term effects of the situation, such as a combination of remote and live participation events, live-streamed oral arguments, socially distanced jury trials, and we organized a 3-day judicial conference online. The law school found a way to offer classes, provide resources, finish the school year, and it too is implementing bold and innovative long-term solutions. It's offering a combination of in-person and remote classes. It found effective ways to continue the participation of students in events and practicums. The Board of Law Examiners was bold in planning the bar exam. It petitioned this court for a supervised practice for 2020 graduates if the July bar could not be given. It continued to make arrangements for a July bar, and each of you sat successfully. It also set an alternate September bar to further accommodate those who might need that consideration. You found a way to finish law school. Your challenges may have included online classes, the inability to collaborate face-to-face on tough questions, homeschooling children while attending class, and uncertainty about graduation and the administration of the bar exam. Many of you have had to rethink your next step and make new plans. But here you are. You made it in the face of adversity, an early sign, perhaps, of your long-term success. You should reflect with pride on your accomplishments. I look forward to getting to know you and to cheering you on as you enter the legal profession. There's much more to learn and many dimensions to explore as you continue to develop into the lawyers that you will become. What an adventure you have before you. I wish in some ways that I could trade places and do it all over again. The profession you've chosen is a roller coaster of steep climbs and thrilling drops. It is exciting and rewarding. It also can be painful and heart-wrenching. Today, I wanted to give remarks that might be useful or enhance your career in some way. I wanted to connect the challenges that you face on a regular basis in practicing law and the curveballs that are thrown consistently in every day, in every life, with the unique challenges of 2020. After reading many speeches given by others and thinking about my own career and those of other members of this court, I decided on a theme of bold decisions versus safe decisions. But first, I wanted to talk about a foundation. And a good place to find a foundation for any lawyer, new or long practicing, is the preamble to the rules of professional conduct for attorneys. The words are aspirational and they're practical. And I'm proud to note that this code is personified by the members of the Wyoming State Bar. It's worth reading in its entirety, but for today I summarize those ideals that speak most deeply to me. A lawyer is a representative of clients, an officer of the legal system, and a public citizen having special responsibility for the quality of justice. A lawyer should use the law for legitimate purposes and not to harass or intimidate others. A lawyer should have respect for the legal system and those who serve it. As a public citizen, a lawyer should seek improvement of the law, access to the legal system, and the administration of justice. A lawyer should strive to attain the highest level of skill. These rules, even in their entirety, do not exhaust the moral and ethical considerations that should inform a lawyer, for no worthwhile human activity can be completely defined by rules. These expectations are high. They apply in your personal life, in your private dealings, in your community interaction, and they apply in your professional life. No matter what your ultimate career, whether you're in a courtroom or a conference room, you are a lawyer, and that designation comes with deep responsibility. As you begin a career defined by these principles, there is much we could talk about. Each one of us once sat where you sit today. We remember our first case, our first brief or deposition or client conference. We remember that everything is new and bright with promise, and at the same time intimidating and unknown. You will have choices, some safe, some bold. To achieve the promise, I encourage you to be bold, take risks, do right. Former acting U.S. Attorney Sally Yates, in a 2017 speech to Harvard Law School students, shared some examples that she thought manifested bold over safe, and her examples resonated with me. Prosecutors who don't want to lose, so they won't bring tough, hard-to-prove cases. Contrast a prosecutor who tries each case that should be tried and appropriately resolves those that shouldn't based on the crime and the individual involved. Private practice lawyers who advice is the least risky to the lawyer rather than what's best to the client. Contrast the attorney who looks first to the law, next to the client, and advises accordingly. The attorney who makes every possible argument in a brief or introduces every piece of evidence at trial out of fear of leaving something out, even though it means a less effective brief or a less effective trial, versus a presentation that works to recognize the issue at stake and hones the argument accordingly. The person who reads the room before giving an opinion or offering or speaking up versus the person who offers thoughtful insights based on the situation, not unanimity, and perhaps changes the tide of the case, policy, or meeting. The one who never tells those in authority something they don't want to hear versus one who gives an honest assessment. Safe is not the reason you will be hired or that your advice will be sought. Being bold is not the same as being reckless. It doesn't give you a license to be careless or unprepared. Bold or safe, you might make a mistake, or you might be wrong. The question is whether you want your career defined by the safe choice or by the bold. The bold own their mistakes and learn from them. They become ever better at what they do. They make a difference when it counts. You might have noticed that I used the word bold in speaking about the decisions being made by the court and charting its forward course. I also use bold in referring to the law school and the Board of Law Examiners, and I implied bold when I spoke about your challenges and choices. I believe each of these situations illustrates bold action in uncertain times. And bold action often comes hand in hand with leadership. It can be the difference between a fulfilling career and one of mediocrity. This is a time when more than ever, lawyers and judges will be called upon for advice and decisions that may make a difference to the nation, your state, your community, or an individual client. It is a time when people look to the law for guidance, protection, and just results. It is a defining time, and you are on the ground floor. At the same time, the pre-pandemic world of property disputes, mineral deeds, divorce, and a multitude of other issues continues. Here too, people depend on lawyers, judges, and the judicial branch to protect their freedoms and their rights, and so they look to you. You must navigate both and be prepared to fulfill your responsibility as an integral part of the third branch of our democracy. Pandemic or no pandemic, John F. Kennedy's remarks provide some useful wisdom. The Chinese used 2 brushstrokes to write the word crisis. One brushstroke stands for danger and the other for opportunity. In a crisis, be aware of the danger, but recognize the opportunity. In your career, there'll be many instances of crisis, of danger and opportunity. No matter the crisis, big or small, worldwide or unique to a given client, life-changing or merely inconvenient, I hope you remain aware of the danger, recognize the opportunity, and act boldly. Welcome to the Wyoming Bar.
Thank you for those fine remarks, Justice Gray. The Supreme Court ceremony is near its end, and soon we will recess. We hope this has been and will continue to be a joyful day for all of you who have been admitted just now, and all those who helped you get here. And we hope this is so even in the difficult times in which we live. We will soon vacate the bench in the federal court. This will become a federal courtroom, and the federal court will take the bench. The turnaround will be fairly short, a little longer because of social distancing issues, but I would encourage everyone to be in place and ready to rise and give attention to our federal colleagues when they take the bench. And now, there being no further business to come before the Supreme Court of the State of Wyoming, court will be in recess until further notice.